and welcome back to my channel, Books with Shay. So this is my first update of the day, but I have been working on fixing my computer all day to try to edit and upload the last vlog because I didn't want to keep having the same issue over and over again. And in order to do that, I had to take all the files off of my computer and put them on an external hard drive. And so transferring and doing all that, it just took a really long time, but I think I've actually fixed the issue, which is fantastic. I am about to run and pick up my sister from work. She got a COVID test and tested negative, so I can finally see her, which is really, really exciting. And so I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to keep working on a Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, but so far I am really loving it. There are so many things that I really like about it. So I want to talk to you guys about that. I want to talk to you guys about Legendborn because I definitely finished it and I just kind of want to catch up with you. So I just want to check in, say hello. I've had my tea, I've gotten dressed for the day. So apparently this is a weekday thing and I am going to, just go and read some more and I will catch up with you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so it's been a few hours for me, but just a couple seconds for you. I went and picked up my sister from work and then went over to her apartment and we hung out and chilled and talked. And she is not my sister by blood, but when we were very young, her mother passed away and she has lived with my family and we have spent a lot of time just living under the same roof and being together, and she couldn't be more my sister if she tried. So when I was moving from Texas to Oregon, she was like, if you're going, I'm going. So she came up here when we came up here. And so it's been hard not to be able to see her because she's one of the very few people that I have here. And I am one of the very few people that she has here. So anyway, I spent some time with her today and that was lots of fun. And now I'm back and I'm cooking dinner. It's on the stove there behind me. I am going to make some pork chops with a creamy mushroom kind of sauce and some mashed potatoes. It's one of LT's favorite meals and we're kind of low-key still in holiday mode just a little bit. I'm trying to make sure that I'm eating better most days, but we have ingredients left over from Thanksgiving that I definitely want to make sure that I get through. Okay, so let's talk about books. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was Legendborn. I actually filmed an entire update on this before this clip and I can't keep it in because I kept trying to talk around the thing that made me like it so much because it's a spoiler. And so I was trying to give you guys like context to kind of understand what made me like it so much. And it was like, no matter what I said, everything that I said, I felt like could trigger a spoiler, you know? And so I'm not gonna talk too much about the thing that I liked about it, but there was a twist at the end that I wasn't quite expecting. And I really like how it amplified the Black voice. So that's what I'm going to leave it at there. And if you have read it and you want to discuss it below, leave a comment. I don't know, see if this will work. Somebody test this for me. So if you leave a comment that says like, I wanna talk about Legendborn or something and then spoilers, and leave that as a comment and then reply to your comment, I think it hides it underneath, like it nests it so people won't see what's in that comment. And I would love to talk about it with you guys if you've read it, but I don't want spoilers like in the comments or anything like that. So if you can nest a comment and see if you can still see it, if that might be a good way for us to discuss with spoilers. So if someone try it, let me know. I would love to see. Yeah, it was really, really good and I liked it. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, of course, what I am reading today, which is a Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow. And I am really loving this so far. So I'm about halfway through and it is light and fluffy and exactly what I needed. There has been a lot of death of a parent or grandparent in every book I've read this week, it feels like. So if you have an issue with grief or death, something like that, like this might be one that would be more difficult to get through because it does talk about a lot about grief. But other than that, it's pretty light and fluffy. I like it because it has the English setting while having the Latin flavor, and it's just so good. And so there's a lot of like talk of recipes and cooking and baking and the shop that her family owns that sells pastries and things like that. And so in that sense, kind of the Latin and the cooking reminds me a little bit of With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. And it's not, With the Fire on High I feel like is a little bit deeper, darker than this. This is a little bit lighter, fluffier side of things. So you're not talking about a single mom who is struggling, trying to make it through high school and everything like you are in With the Fire on High. But the way that she talks about recipes and the recipes that make up her life and the Latin inspired flair and flavors and things like that, a lot of that I see in this. And that was one of my favorite parts of With the Fire on High. So if you like that, I would pick this up because I bet you would like it. It is YA, so they have that in common as well. So I like it for that reason. It talks about tea and tea pairings. There is a tea shop, and so I am living my best tea life with this. I've been drinking tea all day. I've been listening. I will say that the tea that LT made me this morning that he got from the advent calendar, which he couldn't have known, was spearmint, and I don't like spearmint. I'm a peppermint person. Are you peppermint or spearmint? Let me know, because I feel like you can't be both. Can you? Is there someone out there who's both? Let me know if you're both. But I am definitely a peppermint girl through and through, and I do not like spearmint. And on top of that, it kind of gives me a headache. So anyway, so it was spearmint, so I don't even think I finished that, but other tea has been had while I'm enjoying this book. Like every time it talks about tea, it's talked about English breakfast, it's talked about Earl Grey, it's talked about jasmine and oolong, and every time it talks about one, I'm like, ooh, I want to brew a cup of that. Ooh, I want to brew a cup of that. So it's been a fun experience. One of my favorite things about reading, as I say on this channel all the time, is the experience of it, how it ties into my life. So if I can bring it into the real world, if I can touch it, if I can taste it, if I can smell it, if I can hear it, if I can see it, like, then it makes it more tangible to me, obviously, because that's the way you make things tangible. And the more tangible a story is to me, the more I'm able to enjoy it. So for that reason, I really, really like it. So I also wanted to talk about music. A lot of you guys are saying in the comments on yesterday's video that you were surprised by what I listened to. Now, I will say that a lot of the artists that came up in my Spotify Wrapped are things that I listen to passively. So I do, when BTS releases a new album, I listen to it over and over and over and over and over again for the first couple of weeks. And then it goes on a playlist with the other BTS stuff that I like, and I listen to it passively. So it plays in the background when I'm in the shower, or when I am driving, or when I am working out, or something like that. But when I'm actively listening to music, which I do a lot, like when I'm trying to, so music for me creates a bubble for me to feel my feelings. I don't know. If you're someone who's like this, you'll understand immediately when I say it, but if you're not, you're gonna be like, she has lost her mind. But when I am feeling sad, sometimes I just want to be enveloped by sad songs. When I am feeling excited, sometimes I want to listen to something that is peppy and fun. My life should be set to a soundtrack is what I feel like. So I'm often listening to music that fits that. So I will say a lot of you guys are like, I'm surprised. I didn't think it was going to be so mainstream. I thought there was going to be some more obscure artists on this list. So as it said at the very beginning, I listened to something like 2,400 artists this year. I listened to over 400 genres this year. And so I just listen to those things in pockets, and it's something different every day. And Spotify only picks up the overarching things. And when it's something that is more obscure for the most part, I am actively listening to it, which is why it wasn't included in my Spotify Wrapped. But I do have recommendations and bands and artists and things that I listen to that I feel like not a lot of people listen to. So if you're looking for recommendations, tell me a genre you like below, and I'll tell you some things I listen to in that genre, because I listen to a lot of stuff. It just so happened that this year was the year of K-pop for me. And part of that is because I am currently learning Korean. I have a theory that's related to children learning to read and write and the resources that we give them and how we could help it be a more fluid process, because as you guys know, I work in schools and curriculum development and things like that. And so in order to do that well, I decided that I was going to learn a language that had a different alphabet, like a character-based alphabet, from scratch, so that in me teaching myself to read and write again from something brand new that I didn't know, I could mimic the learning response of a kid learning to read and write for the first time. Of course, it is not the exact same because I have English like that I already know to relate it back to, versus a child that's learning characters for the first time in a new way. But anyway, that also really inspired my listening and my watching. I watched a ton of K-dramas this year. I think I watched something like 20 K-dramas this year. So Anyway, I feel like I'm talking a lot. I'm very excited, very peppy. So I'm gonna work on dinner. These potatoes behind me still are not boiling. So I'm gonna work on dinner a little bit more, and I'm going to work on reading A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow a little bit more, and then I will hop on here with a wrap up and a book and a bear and all of that. Okay, it is time for a book and a bear. I'm gonna end up, it looks like I'm finishing books the next morning and then telling you guys about them, but I am keeping up. And so like I am averaging out a book a day. So I think by the end of this, I will have gotten through all of the books. But we're gonna go ahead and open a book. So LT has been reusing the wrapping paper because we want to be as environmentally conscious as we can and save as much paper and produce as little waste as we can. And so he was explaining to me today that I told you guys yesterday, it feels like every time he uses a little more LT. I can't tell if you're doing this on purpose now or if you're actually trying to hide it. You are as red as a beet. Oh my goodness. You like actually look like I just caught you out. Don't mind me. Oh my goodness. How many times do you think that's gonna work? Anyway, so I told you guys yesterday that I felt like he was using more and more tape on every gift. And he was like, I am using more and more tape. It's because every time I reuse the paper, it doesn't want to stick as well in the places that there was tape before. So today we have, you know, all this tape back here and a lot down here and everything. It looks like it's just one piece right here, but it's connected to other pieces that travel on it. Anyway, and then there's this piece right here that's not actually connected to anything. So I feel like he's just being facetious. I don't know. Let's open this up. So this is a hardcover. Again, it's pretty thin. So my guess for this, it's kind of tall though. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and guess YA fantasy. I think we're gonna go back to YA fantasy. I should have been telling you guys my guess as I was unwrapping. But as he said, it's a lot easier to get open today. Awesome. Okay, it is adult contemporary, I guess. This is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, and I am so excited to own this because although some of the characters were insufferable in this, it got better over time. And I really liked the way that the plot twisted. If you cannot tell, I have already read this. And so in tomorrow's vlog, I'll talk to you about this, but that's so awesome because it gives me a day of reading rest on this long reading journey. And that also means that I'm probably gonna pause on A Cuban Girl's Guide for tonight so that I've been really wanting to watch K-dramas. I haven't been able to do that since Vlogmas started. I've been really wanting to catch up on my YouTube videos, Vlogmas that other people are posting. There are just things that I want to do, but I've been doing nothing but reading, which, you know, as a book nerd, it's fine. It's awesome. Most days it's great, but for the last 7 days having been only reading, I feel like I could use a breath of fresh air, something else. So this will give me a little bit of a break, but I love this book. I'm so happy to have this in my library, especially because my mom is in town and I told her, you've got to check this out from your library. You need to read this. You would love it. I think my sister would really like it. I think LT would like it. So the first thing I'm going to do with this copy is I'm going to take it to my mom and say, here, you can borrow my copy so you can read it, because she's in this house. A lot of you guys are always like, I hate how you lend your books out to everybody and they don't ever come back, but I promise you, especially during COVID, I'm keeping my library checkouts very controlled. So my mom will be in this house still visiting, and so it won't leave the home, but it'll be perfect for her to be able to read. So I'm so excited, but I'm not gonna talk to you guys about all of my thoughts on this until tomorrow's vlog. But I don't even know what to say about the bear. I feel like now you guys and LT have like this inside joke going on about him being in the frame and hiding the bear. And so I feel like it's always only going to be in that corner because he wants to see if he can sneak in and sneak out, like with you guys being able to see it, but me not noticing. But now I'm like laser focused on like this area of my like viewfinder because I feel like he's always doing that. So let's go over there and see if he was trying to throw me off his scent or if he actually, for like the 3rd day in a row, put a bear back in that corner. So I'm back in this corner diligently searching for a bear. I'm trying to do some looking around so that I have less footage. Like yesterday, I felt like I had 5 minutes of me looking and not finding the bear and had to edit a lot of it out. Otherwise the vlog would have been like 40 minutes and a bunch of it would have been me just looking for the bear. So today I was like, I'm gonna do some pre-searching and see if I can at least rule out some places before I turn the camera on. So I'm over here just diligently searching and I'm looking for a while and I'm like, I'm glad I did some pre-searching because I definitely wouldn't have found this on camera. And LT looks over at me and says, oh, I haven't hidden the bear yet. And I'm like, well, great. So apparently there is no bear for me to find yet. I will check in with you guys after he physically tells me, okay, go look for the bear. He's right here, above my fall decor that I still have not taken down.
Okay, we're gonna open the bear. You ready? Did you want me to do a voice? Is that part of it? No.
He's trying to act like me, but he just so...
Can you break it?
No, I can't. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Which crumble do you want?
You're wrong for this. Cheers.
Cheers.
Is that what I eat it like?
No.
I was joking about that one little piece, but you sure did eat the rest of it. I'm tired.
Yeah. Feel bad.
Okay. You gotta do that outro since you're being me.
I don't know the outro.
Well, what would you say at the end of a video?
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thanks for what?
Watching.
And when will you see them again?
Tomorrow.
But you have to say it as like you have to say it as like a...
Bye.